All right, guys, we are back at Montevallo University. It's now been a few weeks since I originally built this track. You can see we're already starting to get some erosion from our cold, wet winter. We're on stage 2 of this build. Now we are gonna cover the entire place in trail armor. If you've seen Jarrod's place, they have developed this product called trail armor. It's eliminating 80 to 90% of maintenance on trails. So the first thing on my mind when I rebuilt this was we're gonna rebuild it, we're gonna cover it in trail armor so they can not completely, but limit majority of their maintenance where they can just ride this place year round. No matter if it's cold, hot, rainy, dry, whatever the case, the track is always gonna be dialed. So now's the time we wanna get this place covered up so these kids can ride this any time of day before or after school. If you haven't seen this stuff, check out Jarrod's place. It's the bike park in northern Georgia. They have nearly covered all their trails in this stuff, and they've had little to no maintenance. This stuff is an absolute game changer. I wanted to put some content out there for the world to see and see what this stuff is actually capable of. I've never worked with it. We're gonna start at the starting hill, work our way down, and it's gonna be some trial and error, and hopefully what I learned today can pass on to you guys, and this can help some other mountain bike parks, local trails, backyard tracks, or whatever the case. Let's get to work. Oh, perfect. Let's see. All right, section number 1 is down. These rolls are obviously like big and heavy, but once you actually open it up, this stuff's so easy to adjust. We measured out our distance, make sure everything was squared off. If the whole track goes this smooth, it's gonna be a good day. Starting gate, we'll set up right here. Now we nail it all in. The goal is to put these nails like every foot or so all the way down. Obviously that's a lot of nails for 1,000 feet, so we're gonna get it all tacked in, get to the bottom, and then see what we got left over, then come back and fill those gaps. Without any nails or pulling it tight, it's decent with no wrinkles. As it warms up, it'll kind of form a little better, we hope. Saw that. We got first set of berms covered. I measured about 100 feet past the finish line, but I'm noticing, I mean, this is 12-foot pieces, and we just had to double layer them over, which I just didn't account for 12 feet not to cover as much width. So before we go and chopping things up, I'm gonna cut everything into sections, work our way down, and then once the entire track is covered, then we can come back, because the jumps are easy. Like this next tabletop, that's just gonna be a straight piece, you know. I can go ahead and anchor that down, and then we can kind of adjust berms as we go. Trial and error, you know. 5 more sets of berms to go. It takes the most time to put this stuff in the berms and figure out that kind of configuration, especially on these tighter berms, but yeah, doing these straightaways like this, that was ideal. So straightaway 2, 3, and 4 laid out. Yeah, now we start doing berms, so. All right, that is a wrap for the day. You don't realize how much this stuff beats you up when you're just dragging heavy carpet around the place all day. But I actually got most of the track covered. Go home, rest up, back here first thing tomorrow, and finish it up. So, have a good night. See you tomorrow. Good morning. Place is looking awesome. I got a lot done yesterday. Got the guys raking now. We're gonna apply a last bit of armor and test this bad boy out. By the end of this video, I'll tell you guys exactly what linear footage we used, how much hardware, and all that good stuff. Okay, so we just got the first turn. You can see I razor bladed it around the edge. Also razored it around the top. Obviously you want to think about water flow going down, right? So you need to overlay it like you would shingles, because I know there's so many shingle roof layers out there, right? So overlay it so the water rod's over and not under the next piece of carpet. Pulled it decently tight in the middle, enough for it to lay down. We put our wrinkles on the backside, and any wrinkles we needed to cut, we just cut down the middle and then overlay them in the same kind of pattern. But we're doing every 4 feet now because we don't know how many nails it's gonna take to get to the end. So the goal is stakes every 1 foot, which is lots of stakes. So we're starting with 4, and we'll come back and do 2 and see what that gets us. Good morning. Day number 3. Today we finished cutting and trimming and nail it all down. That's a wrap. Final nail Everything is covered. Now we'll ride. I'll give you some info on everything. So this track is roughly 1,000 feet. I ordered 1,200 feet. Luckily they had a little mess up and accidentally gave me about an extra 65 feet, but it ended up being perfect because we literally had 2 feet left over. I didn't really take into consideration we're working with 2 lanes. So by the time we got to the end, we had 1,300 nails, which was 12-inch spikes. Washers to go on every one of those. I want to say they spent around $2 grand worth of hardware, but you have to put it down. You got to tack this stuff down. We ended up going every 4 feet. The goal was I wanted to do every 2 feet. Going forward, we obviously have to double up on it, but everything is tacked down. I linked their website and everything in the description. I also put a list of all the hardware and material used for this. It was a lot of work, but well worth it. I'm gonna go switch shoes and actually do some riding and test it out, see what it actually feels like. How's it feel?
Feels great.
Oh my God, it's so smooth. We can go outside. Oh, it grips. Oh.
Well, that's pretty awesome. It's right now, I mean, the conditions are great. It rides good. It's definitely a different feeling under your tires. There's still a bunch of wrinkles in it, but I'm told from the guys over at Jarrod's place that the more weather, like just rain and sun, getting it wet, so everything's gonna stretch. The more the kids ride on it, even riding on it in the wet, you can ride on this stuff while it's wet, which is crazy. So more they ride on it, the more this stuff is gonna level out and just kind of push itself into the dirt and smooth out. So there's definitely a couple wrinkles I thought I could get out, but yeah, they told me not to worry about it because nature usually just kind of does its own thing. I can already kind of envision what it's gonna look like this summer when all the green grass comes back. You got a nice brown track with grass growing up the sides. This is gonna look really cool. And the best part, these kids never have to maintain it again. They can get out of class, jump on their bike, and actually go ride no matter what the weather's actually been. So if you're interested in getting some trail armor for your spot, maybe it's a bike park, backyard track, trails, whatever the case, I put all the links in the description as well as all the hardware. The finish line flat corners, I wanted to keep those dirt. There's a flat corner at the top, I wanted to keep those dirt. Luckily I did, because that's what saved us for the last little footage. We used 1,300 12-inch nails or spikes, 1,300 washers to go on every one of those. Not knowing how much it was actually gonna take to get to the end, we went 4 foot, and that got us to the finish line, and a few spots we were able to go and make sure we tacked down. So these guys are gonna have to come back and double up on the nails, get another 1,300, but you have to nail it down. You don't want to use tires and rocks and bricks. Invest in the nails, especially if this is going to a bike park. It looks way better. Do the hard work now so you can just get on your bike and enjoy the place. That's what it's all about, right? I hope you like this one. Thanks for hanging out with me for 3 days. I'm glad to wrap this job up. I've seen this place enough. I'm gonna head out to another spot and go ride. So until next time, thanks again. Peace.